What if Nobara was Sukuna's vessel? Would he be able to defeat Gojo? And what vessels could and couldn't? Let's talk about it, but spoilers beware. All right, first of all, shout out to I'm Not Eddie for inspiring this video. And when we get to talking about potential Sukuna vessels, there are a lot of really interesting options and really scary options, right? I mean, come on. But when we're simplifying that down to which ones would be able to beat Gojo versus not, I think this gets really easy because I think any Sukuna vessel could beat Gojo because I think Sukuna can beat Gojo just on his own. Now, I've talked about this in a lot of different videos, but I roughly view Gojo and Sukuna as equal, even without the 10 shadows, right? Now, obviously, the version of the story we got, the 10 shadows were crucial to beating Gojo, but I do think with domain expansion and domain amplification, Sukuna could theoretically beat Gojo on his own. So just give him a body, period, he might be able to get it done. But in terms of which techniques would be the most effective against Gojo, well, boom, the 10 shadows, obviously. But who else might give a little bit of an upper hand? And first, let's cycle back to Eddie's original question of Nobara. Like, would her resonance, her soul damage be able to help? And yes, if it could hit Gojo, which it can't because of the Limitless, right? So even though that's a really powerful technique, especially in Sukuna's hands, it's not really moving the needle forward. And honestly, that's going to be a problem for literally every curse technique, right? Which is part of why Sukuna used Maharaga and the 10 Shadows to adapt to it. But other than Megami, I think maybe Hana/Angel, which this wouldn't even really work because he probably can't double vessel up in Hana's body. But if we somehow gave Angel's original body to Sukuna, then perhaps with Jacob's Ladder, he could get through infinity as well. So that might be the best possible option if it were possible. So ultimately, I don't think the vessel matters because 99% of them won't be able to do anything to Gojo anyway. So it's just going to be about base Sukuna, who I think does have a chance, even with just his base kit. But while we're on this subject, what would this look like? Because Lucas asked me a question about what if Sukuna incarnated into a heavenly restricted user? What would happen? And this is interesting, right? And even before JJK ended, I had a bunch of theories talking about if Sukuna was that situation already, thanks to his unique circumstance with his twin, right? So I don't think Sukuna literally has like a Maki heavenly restriction and a curse technique, but I do think he has a boost similar to Maki and a curse technique. I got other videos talking about it, but if this were to happen, I think it could go either way. I do think it's possible to have the best of both worlds, which again, we kind of see in Sukuna, but also in Yuji. He was kind of heavenly restricted, but then got cursed energy thanks to Sukuna. So I do think the marriage of the two things is possible.